All right, a good evening to you. Welcome to The Defining Moment. My name is Anthony Ndiema, and it's good to have you another Wednesday evening. Thank you very much for joining us, even as we get to engage, as we get to hear very powerful stories. Today we have imported someone all the way from the US, to come and share her story. She's a pastor. She has done ministry for a long time. And there's something she believes in. She doesn't believe in titles. She believes in doing the job and being a minister of the gospel. She'll be telling us about her journey. And she's in Africa. I don't know if it's her first time. We'll get to engage her on that as well. But karibu sana. It's good to have you. Remember, you can, text us. The numbers are right there on your screen. You can also get to the social media pages at Elevate TV Kenya on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram as well. Let's get to know your story, and we inspire the world with your story. We have Pastor Rosetta West.
Yes.
It's good to have you.
Good to be here.
Thank you so much for making time to be here and to be in Kenya. I hope my English is, you can hear it?
I can hear it.
All right. All right. So it's good to have you. Is this your first time in Kenya? You've been here before?
I've never been in Kenya before. As a matter of fact, I've never been in Africa before.
Oh, really?
So this is my first time being home.
I like that. Just say that again.
It's my first time being home.
Oh, it's like, how is it being home?
I feel secure. That might sound crazy to you, and I'll tell you what made me really feel at home and secure is I saw a security guard.
Right.
And he was standing in front of the gate with his hands in his pocket, grinning, and I thought,
wow,
that's different. I'm okay. I'm home.
Yeah.
And I have not felt unsafe, uncomfortable, not 1 minute.
Wow.
I was telling my sister upstairs, I said, if somebody asked me what one word would I use to describe how I feel about Kenya, and I said, secure.
We need to speak this more. Sometimes they say that you need to leave your mother's kitchen to realize that there's something better elsewhere.
There's some life on the other side.
Yes,
yes,
yes.
Absolutely. And this has really been a different experience for me because living in America in a community where there are people who feel like they're better than you are. The white race feel like they're better than the black race, and there's things that we're not allowed to have because of the white man. Right. It's different, and I look around as the people. Everybody seems to be doing something. It doesn't look like anybody's held back. I feel like that if some of the Americans had the that's what I'm gonna call it, the get up and go, like the Kenyans, that they would be a whole lot better off. I mean, I see Kenyans selling some of everything, right? Yet still, everywhere. we got some that don't want to work, But so I feel very secure.
Come on.
Here, and I wish my son tried to get me to stay a month. Now that I'm here,
yes,
I wished I could have.
Right.
But I'm planning to come back again. And when he said he was coming, I think I probably told him 3 weeks ago that I was coming.
Wow.
And I don't really think he thought I was coming, but I wanted to come and see what he was doing.
Wow. Right.
And then I also just wanted to come to Africa.
Come on.
And so when I get back home, I'm going to tell everybody that I know that if you don't go home at least one time before you leave this earth, shame on you.
I love that. So please, those who are watching, in the diaspora, come back home. But remember, if you're a Kenyan and you're watching this, there are things we have, we need to treasure them.
You do.
And one of those things is that we are one and we are secure.
Right.
Because of that one thing. And we have a God who loves us.
A God who loves us. And that's really important. And one of the reasons why I do what I do in ministry is because of the God in my life.
Wow.
And at the age of 12, I suffered from rheumatic fever. And I almost died. I couldn't, it was a disease that gets in your joints and it affects your heart.
Wow.
And I could not move, none of my joints. If I moved them a fraction of an inch, it was so painful. And I remember telling my dad, my temperature got up to 104 and just cooked my skin. And you could pull it out like you do peel out the top layer of an onion.
Wow.
I said to my dad, Daddy, I said, I don't want to live no more. I'm ready to die. And he said, oh, sister, don't say that. I said, but Daddy, you just don't understand the pain. He said, but you're going to be all right. But I was bedridden for 3 months.
Wow.
I finally was able to get up. I don't have any symptoms of the disease. Sometimes it comes back on you as you age, as you get older, but God has blessed me that I don't have to deal with that. But my life, been the third child in a family of 12, the first girl, in that first half, there was 5 boys and 1 girl, that was me. And in the last half, it was 5 girls and 1 boy.
Wow.
And so and recently my first sister passed. That was a tremendous joke to me because we were so close, and I know that if she was living, she'd be right over here with me.
Wow.
We would be here together.
Right.
But my journey in life and in ministry has been a pain journey. And when I say not just physical pain, I dealt with emotional pain, whether it was in the family, my siblings, whether it was in the church,
right, the
whether it was in
congregation.
my home. I've been through some things, but the one thing I know that I can tell everybody, there's hope.
Wow. You talk about pain, but you also talk about hope.
Yep.
So in the pain, there's hope.
Yep.
You started at 17, right?
Yes, I did.
Tell us, just take us through the cycle of that journey.
And
especially the part of pain.
The pain was, after I got past the rheumatic fever, for some reason I always had pain in my body. And then in the church world, I used to be ashamed to say this, but I'm not anymore because it happens to so many girls. And then people will degrade you, put you down, count you out. But I got pregnant at 17.
Right.
And the worst thing you can do is get pregnant at 17 and be a preacher's child.
Wow.
Now, you're sure enough going to hell.
Oh, yeah. That's really, really tough.
But the church is supposed to be a place where you forgive.
Right.
And if I tell you that I'm sorry for something that I did and ask for forgiveness, you're obligated to forgive me.
Right.
If you can't forgive me, don't expect God to forgive you for the things that you do.
Oh, yeah. It's
And so
scriptural.
anyway, I suffered through that. I went through that period where you walk in the church and there was a room that you go in before you get into the main sanctuary. You hear people talking and serving you up on a platter. And did you hear this? And did you hear that? But I got over it. And I got married. I had my oldest son, Robert. And then I got pregnant with Reuben, Dr. West.
Yes.
And even after that, there was still something to say.
Wow.
So I learned, I had to make up my mind, how do you want to live your life? I thought I wanted to walk away from the church.
It's an easy option, right?
Yeah. I said, I'm just going to give up. And then I thought about all the things I knew about God and all the things that Mom and Dad, how they had raised me. And I knew that wasn't an option. I knew I wouldn't fit anywhere else. There was nothing out in the world that I wanted to do and could do. I'm just going to be honest with you. I would have been a goofy sinner. I didn't do no drinking, didn't smoke, didn't party. Only party I got to go to as a child was a birthday party.
Right.
And so I had a grandson that his school had a senior prom, and he asked me to go. And it was a senior prom for elderly people, not for kids in the senior at the 12th grade. It was not for them, but it was for senior ladies and senior men. And that was the first party that I got to go to. And that's been about 10 years ago. I'm 71 now.
Wow. Well done. So just before you continue, how do you, especially when you're in church and you get so hot, so bad,
how do you get past it?
How do you get past it? Where do you anchor?
Because I love people and I want to treat people like I wanted to be treated.
Right.
So that was easy for me to change my mindset, get over what people did and said about me, and start being a nurturer and a mentor to young women and young girls who came into like situations that I did. And when people say that you're not going to be nothing, you ain't going to have nothing, that sticks in your mind. I heard all those things, and I look at all the things God has blessed me with now.
Wow.
I've got children, I have grandchildren, and I'm gonna tell you, like I tell everybody else, I'm a billionaire.
Come on.
People say you ain't got no $1 billion. See, you can be a billionaire and not have $1 because only the things that are going to last is the things that you do for Christ.
Right.
And so by being a mentor and a preacher and a teacher of young boys and girls, every time I sow a seed, that's going to stick with them.
Right.
And when I'm dead and gone, those seeds are still being planted.
Right.
And I'm still growing.
Wow.
I'm still growing, boys and girls. And so to me, getting over the hurt and the bitterness, and you can almost turn to hatred.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And the anger, it hasn't been an easy journey, but I know there's hope because I've been there, done that. And whether if I don't experience pain, elimination of pain in my life, in my physical body, I know that I will one day. I might not be healed on this earth,
right?
But when I go to heaven, I'm not going to have no tears of sadness, no more heartaches, no more pain.
Right.
So at the end of the day, there's always hope.
Wow, that's powerful. So Pastor Rosetta, so here you are. Now you're growing into ministry. Of course, you've gotten your first child. You said, I will not listen to what the people are saying, what they're serving me. I choose to take a different direction altogether. So how did that progress into now where you are as a minister?
As a
today?
minister?
Yeah.
Well, in the church, we always had, the women were called missionaries and not ministers or pastors. So I started out as a missionary. God called me to the missionary field. And then I would travel to Memphis, Tennessee. I would take my mom and dad to the convocations that they went to every year. And Dad was up in age, and Mama didn't drive, and I didn't want Daddy to have to do that 10, 12-hour driving by himself.
Right.
So because I loved my parents and I wanted to help them enjoy life because they did so much for the 12 kids. Daddy worked 45 years.
Wow.
And I saw my dad crawling on his knees to get to the doorknob, to pull himself up by the doorknob and go out the door so he could go to work. So, anything I could do to help my parents out, I was willing to do. And so I drove Daddy to Memphis, and one Saturday, I worked with a group of children called the Sunshine Band. And the children are the ages 3 to 12. In my local church, I did that. And on the state level, I was the state president. And so I was sitting in a session of the international president of the Sunshine Band, and she asked if someone would go to her car and get a box out. Well, I'd never met her before, and nobody else was moving. So I said, I'll go. And she gave me the key and told me where the car was. So I went out, got the box, come back, and handed it to her. And she went back to what she was talking about. And in the middle of our conversation, she said, Sister West, I want to see you after this session. And I thought, I got a little scared. I said, what did I do? What did I say? And after the session, she said, I want you to work with me.
Wow.
I said, you want me to work with you? She said, I want you to work with me on the international level. And I said, okay, what do you want me to do?
All right, hold it right there.
Okay.
So what do you want me to do? We'll come with that and the answer to that when we come back after this short break. Don't go away.